Love button-mashing brawls, epic combos, and beating up waves of bad guys? Let's dive into the best beat-em-up games you can play right now on PS5 and PS4. If you're a fan of classic 90s arcade games, Vengeance Hunters is a must-try. This Neo Geo-inspired beat-em-up allows you to choose Candy, Golem, or Looney to battle against mutants, zombies, and cyborgs in vibrant, action-packed levels. The combat feels smooth and satisfying, whether you're button-mashing for fun or mastering combos for high scores. Plus, it's got local co-op, so you and a friend can team up for some nostalgic chaos. With its Saturday morning cartoon vibe and energetic soundtrack, Vengeance Hunters is a fun throwback to the golden age of arcades. This one's for fighting game lovers. Marvel vs. Capcom fighting collection packs in 7 legendary games, including X-Men vs. Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's retro fighting at its finest, but with some nice modern touches like rollback netcode for smooth online play, adjustable difficulty, and beginner-friendly features. Plus, there's a huge art gallery and an epic music library to dive into. Whether you're a seasoned player or new to these classics, this collection is a great way to celebrate Marvel and Capcom's arcade legacy. Up next is Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP, the remaster of the over-the-top zombie-slaying classic. You play as Juliet Starling, a chainsaw-wielding cheerleader taking on undead hordes with style and humor. The game now has smoother controls, sharper graphics, and 4K support, which makes the experience even better. Despite the campaign's short length and a few performance hiccups, the game's crazy combat, hilarious moments, and unapologetic weird vibe make it a memorable experience. Double Dragon Gaiden is a clever take on this iconic series, giving us a prequel that tells the origin story of Jimmy and Billy Lee. Set in a gang-filled New York City, the game keeps that classic, pixelated look fans love, but mixes things up with roguelite elements. Each gameplay experience is unique, featuring randomized stages, enemies, and upgrades to keep you engaged. If you're into games that combine retro charm with a bit of modern replayability, this one's worth checking out. Moving on, we have Mayhem Brawler. This game feels a lot like Streets of Rage 4, and that's not a bad thing. While it doesn't quite hit the same level of polish, what sets it apart is its branching story. You pick your character, fight through stages, and make decisions that actually change the story, unlocking new enemies, locations, and endings. It's the kind of game that keeps you coming back to see what happens next. If you enjoy beat-em-ups that reward replaying, Mayhem Brawler offers plenty of fun despite its flaws. When it comes to beat-em-ups, Streets of Rage 4 is about as good as it gets. With its tight and satisfying combat, stylish visuals, and abundant replayability, Streets of Rage 4 is a perfect modern take on the classic series. Whether you're playing solo or with friends, you'll love pulling off combos, exploring the gritty world, and unlocking new moves and characters. This game is a love letter to fans of the series, and it shows in every detail. If you only play one beat-em-up on this list, make it this one. Young Souls brings something fresh to the beat-em-up genre by mixing in RPG elements and a story that pulls you in. As Jen and Tristan, 2 rebellious teens, you navigate between the real world and magical dungeons, engaging in combat and upgrading your gear as you go. The combat is fast and fun, the visuals are stylish, and the story has some surprisingly emotional moments. Young Souls is an excellent choice for those seeking a beat-em-up with a greater sense of depth and emotion. If you loved the first River City Girls, you'll be happy to know the sequel is even better. You'll team up as Misako and Kyoko and a few other playable characters, including Kunio and Riki, to take down the Yakuza and save River City. The game adds free exploration, RPG-style upgrades, and tons of unlockable moves that keep combat fresh. It's packed with humor, personality, and enough action to keep you hooked for hours. Whether you're playing solo or with friends, River City Girls 2 is a blast. Final Vendetta thrives on the past, and while many modern beat-em-ups aim to push the genre forward, this game proudly embraces its roots. A criminal organization is taking over the city, a sister gets kidnapped, and 2 brothers step up to save the day. The gameplay is familiar, and that's precisely what makes it exceptional. The game's slick pixel art, satisfying action, and classic setup perfectly capture the magic of early 90s arcade beat-em-ups. If you're a fan of old-school brawlers, Final Vendetta will feel like a nostalgic hit. Finally, we've got PopSlinger, a quirky and colorful indie beat-em-up with a unique vibe. You play as Rhea, a magical girl armed with soda-powered guns, battling dimension-hopping enemies called Corazones. The game stands out with its bright 90s anime art style and a dynamic soundtrack that reacts to your gameplay. It can be a bit challenging, and the mechanics might take some time to get used to, But if you're looking for something creative and different, PopSlinger has a lot of charm and energy to offer. And there you have it, some of the best beat-em-up games you can play right now on PS5 and PS4. Which one are you most excited to play? Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comments.